Hey everybody, it is the Amerime Junkies podcast. We've been going for a minute and we're back, but we're back, and we never left. Of
That
course,
is never enough.
of course, I'm Corey Salter True Floyd, and over here we got the boss, the biggest boss, comic boss.
What's up, everybody? This is Corey Salted True Floyd, and to the above me is go ahead, Nico.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Queen Nick here. Back again. Y'all already know. I know y'all miss me on here, so yeah.
Hmm.
I'm here. I'm here and stuff. And to my left is our special guest for today, creator, content creator, and artist, and I'm an animator, I shall say, producer. We have Marco the artist, aka Masterminds Connect.
Yo, this is really a treat, man. We've been trying to link up with Mastermind Connect for like over a year or two now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Every time I see the email, it's either too late or we just keep getting flip flop. But I'm glad we got to do this.
Cause you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, West Coast,
Hmm.
Look at that
yeah,
time. That time
yeah,
difference.
Los Angeles.
You're a busy, busy man.
I'm trying to be.
I may have to link you up with my homegirl who's out there. She's a photographer. I, you may have heard of her. Evolving Images out there. Maybe I don't know. She does product photography, models and stuff, and fashion and stuff like that. She doesn't really.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
But today we're here to talk with Marco the artist about his work, his projects, and just trying to get to know a little bit more about
Yeah, the Black community needs to know more Black artists who are doing amazing work and are just killing it. So, who better to highlight than this young man here?
Especially
Sure.
Marco been on fire with the whole Pride Lands like
Mhm.
whole little theme coming out. It set the internet on fire for that one.
Yeah, especially when he started dressing up like Mufasa and Scar. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I feel like not my whole life has been leading up to that, but I've always loved The Lion King, and I never really stopped drawing these characters and thinking up these stories and stuff. So in 2020, when I decided to draw them in like a in a different universe, in like an anthropomorphic universe, I was watching Beastars, and I was wondering,
Mm-hmm.
what if I
Yep,
was like,
exactly.
what if Scar was in these group of lions? Y'all know exactly what lions I'm talking about.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
the
If
mafia.
you watch Beastar, you definitely know what group he's talking about.
So I was like, Scar fits in well, and that's literally when the idea happened. Um, and I thought it was just going to be a one-off drawing that I did, but I got such a good response that I decided that I had to include Mufasa. And then once I did Mufasa, that's when things really got crazy, and that's when I decided,
Hmm.
all right, let's do the whole Lion King cast. And then when that happened, I said, why not do all the
Yep.
Disney characters basically? And as I did every character, I took into account their actual story in the Disney universe and saw how it could translate into like a real world. So they're all connected in some way, shape, or form to each other. Their stories intertwined. So imagine like kind of like not a time jump, but all the characters exist within like the same time, whether they came out in the 20s or whether they came out in the 2010s. So like, the Dalmatians are, friends with Mufasa and Sarabi, things like that. And how
Hmm.
these interactions could happen in sort of like a tailspin, sort of goofy movie, goof troop kind of DuckTales, kind of thing. So yeah.
I was thinking between B stars and Tailspin
Yeah,
because making Kerchak a straight up cop just fit too well.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Did you have like an idea in mind for each of the characters that you started working on, or did you just started drawing and just came to you?
I at first it was just like, how can I make them look cool? But then it evolved into how do they fit within the story. So like, in the story, Cheshire Cat is like one of the bosses, right? So we have like the feline felons. There's Scar, Zira, Cheshire Cat, Shere Khan, Prince John, and the Cave of Wonders.
No.
Uh, so it's like a whole like crime sort of, very similar to Penguin actually, like in that kind of Sopranos power kind of world, um, like that.
See,
So
now you're
yeah,
gonna have to make me imagine someone voiced by Ghost
exactly.
and Tommy.
Do you do you have a favorite?
I do like Shere Khan.
Okay. I think everybody was going crazy over December.
Yeah.
December walking around with the white tee. I, I, everybody going crazy over that one. It was so
Yeah,
simple, but everybody like loved that
yeah.
And
I
even
think
like, oh,
also
go ahead.
the combination of making Nala dressed like Beyonce,
one.
that people really gravitated towards because she was voiced by Beyonce in the live action, which we don't have to speak a lot of at all.
Cool.
But it was just a cool Easter.
Yeah, that kind of, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of made me mad a little bit. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not trying to ruin my opportunities to be able to interview Beyonce. But it wasn't really her fault. It wasn't on her though. I wouldn't really put that on her because I had an issue with Chidwell as well. Like as Scar, like he made a great Scar, but the fact that he didn't sing that bothered me a lot. Like it was like, wait, where's be prepared? Like what is this? Like he's not even trying. He's chanting. I don't like it. No,
Right, right.
but again, it is what it is. You know, Disney was trying to do something. Okay, digress.
Yeah,
Digress.
yeah.
I see your recent work as well with Simba and Mufasa as like LeBron James and Bronny James.
Hmm.
I thought that was pretty dope. Like that's kind of cool
Yeah,
in so many ways.
because when you create something, you always think about like the audience and people thinking like, okay, does this get old? Like is he milking this too much? But then like bringing it into current events
It's
gives
smart.
it like a fresh new take, and
Yeah.
people can like appreciate like even if they forgot, and even if they're getting tired of it, in this way, like finding connections in the real world is really, it's really cool, because then it's like, okay, you find the similarities. LeBron calls himself the king. His symbol is a lion. His son, trying to follow in his footsteps, always has his dad's shadow. And, his dad is such greatness. So he's wondering if he can live up to that greatness. It perfectly mirrors the LeBron and Bronny story. So things like that, when I get to insert, like, not my characters, but my take on the characters into real life, it's really fun to do. And I don't know if you guys remember remember when Michael B. Jordan was getting interviewed by someone he grew up with.
Yeah.
The lady, yeah,
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
high school, yeah.
I took that event and recreated it. I had drawn a picture of Killmonger as like a leopard, or yeah, like a leopard or a jaguar, something like that, whatever he wants to refer to himself as. And I included Georgette from Oliver and Company as the interviewer. And that's just like that's just like insert, like same thing, like taking these characters, putting them into a current event, and not necessarily making them a meme, but like it's like appreciating the moment and creating like a memory. I think a meme. I don't. I might be tripping, but meme like I think it originates from like memory or something like that. So it's like cementing a memory in time and like, okay, you remember this time. This time was funny, and you can
Right.
always like revert back to it. So yeah.
That was smart. I gotta check that one out. I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. It's I believe, yeah. Just scroll down, you'll find it. It's one of my favorite ones. It's pretty funny.
All right, so what's next for Pride Lands? I know you
So
can't. I know you can't do with so much because you gotta, because it's somebody else's property. But I
so
think
I currently have a Patreon account where I and some partners of mine, I have a writer, I have another concept artist, storyboard artist, and an animator, and we've had the Patreon for about 4 years. We have about 300 pages of script and story. We've written about three, like 2 to 3 books. Like we set it up as like book one, book two, book three,
Smart.
and we're currently like developing the story. So basically, it's like mirroring the Lion King story, but branching it out. So we, so it's basically Simba witnesses his father getting killed, and he has to deal with the emotions and stuff. And it also um, it delves into Sarabi's story as well, how she's dealing with it.
nice.
Um, it delves into Nala's story and how she's dealing with it and how she's trying to find her path. And then it also, instead of like Simba running away to the jungle, he's running away to the concrete jungle, which is like a New York type of place. And he's basically getting mentored slash raised by Shere Khan, who grew up with Mufasa, and they're like best friends, but they're on like two sides of the track. So there's also like a point of contention between Shere Khan and Scar. Basically, like Mufasa and Shere Khan treat each other more like brothers, um, as opposed to Mufasa and Scar treating each other like brothers, and
That's
Scar
kind
has
of
sort of jealousy from that. So it's a whole bunch. And like when they go to New York, that's when Oliver and Company characters join the picture. That's when Timon and Pumbaa, they're working for Shere Khan, things like that. So yeah, it's a fun, cool project. It's gotten me able to think about like story and developing characters with a backstory, and how can I change it to make it a little bit more interesting and more mature, instead of like the child stories that we know and grew up with. So
nice.
yeah.
So
I'm
is this in comic book form or is this just text to read?
It's a combination of text, with like storyboards and finished
Nice.
illustrations, and like, so it's like we're taking people on the journey of how it's being created and still figuring out what form it should be created. Right now we have like some comic book panels, we have a couple of like still like full images, some storyboards with like scenes laid out like that, some rough, some very fine sketch, some finish. So it's like a whole bunch of things, and like the patrons, uh, they're able to get their characters like inserted into the story too, as like background characters and stuff. So yeah, it's a fun project. It's very difficult to like manage and figure out and go with the story, but it's very fun.
We're
My
gonna make
favorite is
sure to put
probably
your Patreon in at the bottom for anybody that
definitely
want to jump on
my
his
my
Patreon.
favorite work that you've done though would probably be the Crash, the uh the mask. from Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is because I haven't played that game in God knows how long. But that's probably one of my favorites because, like, you know, he was always like a staple in Crash.
Yeah.
It was one of the first games I ever played.
Yes.
So I got a question for you. What
Aku, I
would
think.
probably Haiku. Um, what would you tell any artist, like young artists who, you know, loves to draw and things like that, who either want to get into the industry or maybe they feel like they're not good enough? What would you
Uh,
say to those artists, aspiring artists?
well, personally, I'm not even in the industry. Like I've never been in the industry. I've never worked on any like professional comics or projects like that. So I would tell them to not wait on someone to get yourself picked up. Just do it yourself. Like in this day and age, there's no barriers of entry. You find your audience will find you, and you create what you want to see. Basically, that's all I've done. I've created what I wanted to exist, and if people mess with it, cool. If not, then I'm still creating. I'm still getting fulfilled. It gets tough when it comes to like money and stuff, but like I would say, don't be afraid to carry another job with you, and you know, like I would say like the ideal job is one that you don't have to think a lot and you just do, so that you can keep your thinking for doing like your craft and working on your stuff and getting excited to do what you want to do. But yeah, I would say do it yourself. And I think what a lot of artists lack is the ability to connect with others, because they see themselves with their blinders, and they're like, oh man, like, you know, nobody is liking my stuff, no one's commenting on my stuff. Like, okay, who are you commenting and liking? Who are you interacting with? Like, are you
Mhm.
interacting with the peers on your same level and growing together? A lot of young artists like to network horizontally. I mean, vertically as opposed to horizontally. So they're like, oh, yeah, you're my favorite artist. I want to be friends with you. But what about your fellow artists on your same level that you can kind of critique and grow up with? So I think that's so my first tip would be um, make it yourself, do it yourself. And my second tip would be to grow with the people next to you as opposed to the people who you see, not necessarily above you, but in a better position career wise than you are. And that can go for literally anything.
That's amazing. That's
That's
dope.
what Issa Rae said as well. She's like, stop trying
Mhm.
to reach up and reach
Yeah,
to nothing right, and
yeah,
everybody got
Yeah,
to work together. Like,
reaching
that's the
across is always an extremely important part of building these things. But you can't say you never did anything professional now, because sweetheart, you up there, okay?
you definitely up there.
Professional. You definitely up there. Give yourself your flowers because you deserve them. You worked so hard. You've
thank you.
done so many, you know,
Hey,
beautiful
thank you, man.
things. Hey, I don't even know what this looks like right now. But yeah, you've done like so much, so many good things, and you've brought so many people together, and, you know, and inspired so many people, whether it be writers or other artists. You know, it is a wonderful and beautiful thing,
Thank you.
and we are appreciative of what you do.
Appreciate that.
What was
Yeah.
your favorite? What was your favorite cartoon growing up? It does either regular cartoon or animated movie.
Um, Regular cartoon, I would have to say my earliest, I'd have to say Arthur.
Same.
Arthur.
Yeah. Shout out to the kids with limited cable.
Right.
Right.
PBS.
Or only had was it analog? Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Hey, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with PBS.
Yeah,
I,
yo, listen,
I don't know
PBS
what
helped
channel you
me.
had it on out there, Marco, but for us it was channel 12.
Channel
Yep.
12.
WHYY.
WHYY. Like because of
Mhm.
that, like I had to sit out a year before going to school, like at all because of where my birthday was. My birthday's in October. So
Hmm.
you had to be 6 already in order to start kindergarten. And because my birthday was in October, they were like, no, she's gonna have to wait a year, blah blah blah. So I stayed home a year, but I watched PBS for an entire year. So by the time I got to kindergarten, I was reading at like a first grade level.
Mhm.
Um, I knew how to pronounce most things. I had all this information and learning and everything, and that's kind of what jump started my desire to want to learn and want to read and things like that. Like thanks to PBS, yes, the public what is it? Public Broadcast Service.
Yeah.
Um and
Mhm.
not to be not to be one of those people. Because I'm pretty sure this probably is coming out when probably next week.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be past the time. But yeah, PBS is on the ballot this year. So I hope y'all chose properly. I hope y'all
Mhm.
chose right because that may be one of the things to go as well. And if you see the amazing work that some of us have done because of PBS, thanks to the inspiration and representation that we received on like for those shows and from those shows.
Like Arthur.
Hmm.
Arthur was definitely one of them shows that had an underlying meaning to him.
Hmm.
Hmm. For sure, for sure, for sure.
And it's like the cast was so, even though they're all animals, they're so diverse as well. So it's like, you know, Muffy had the curly hair, not Muffy, Francine. She had
Mm-hmm.
the curly hair and like she was going through those struggles. Arthur was low key a black family, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like
PW was a badass child.
W was not a
I'm
she was
sorry, she deserved to get punched that one time. I'm sorry. I don't agree with boys hitting girls or people putting their hands on each other. But I'm not gonna lie. If she was my sister and she did what she did to me,
Listen, we nerds. You sit there and fuck up my model that I worked on.
yeah,
right.
Somebody's getting hit.
That's
yeah,
like somebody taking my arc reactor that I have from Iron Man from Tony Stark
And
and
smashing it
just smashing it to pieces. Like, nah, like somebody's gotta die.
yeah.
Somebody has to die.
for
And
the
it ain't
hey
gonna be me.
Nico,
Yeah.
for the future, my birthday is coming up.
Oh, you want one of these?
Yeah,
Just
that's fine.
saying,
He either wants
I'll
that
have
or
to
something Superman related.
either
well,
or, I won't be
I'll
mad.
I'll have to I'll have to find out where it was actually purchased because I don't know because I didn't buy it. This was a gift to me.
Uh, Okay.
So I gotta find out. But I can send you I'll do some research and I'll see what I can do.
Marco, when did
I don't know. I'm sorry. Susan
when
said it.
did you
So
start? When did you find your love for art?
Um, well, speaking of like, well, I was a very sheltered kid, so I wasn't allowed to watch like a whole lot of TV.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to watch TV on school days. Um, so I would have to like use my imagination elsewhere. I was like, my dad put a television, but it's like the television monitor, so it could only be connected to a VHS player. So what I would do, I was like, I would pause like movies and draw the scenes from the movies all the time. As early as like I want to say like 4 or 5 years old, I used to do that. And then when I started going to school, I used to draw things for people to make friends. As like, we'll form an alliance. Let me draw you a picture, and you don't bully me.
hey man,
We're cool. We're
wait,
cool. All right.
were you charging for those
Woman of
pictures
my
or no?
No, I wasn't. I was charging for
Come on,
favors.
baby.
So I was like, remember that time I drew
You
you?
are you were already thinking like organized crime.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He was
I
like,
draw
listen, listen, charge, don't worry about it. But one day I'm gonna come to you and ask for a favor.
run these gummy bears. Like
Run them gummy bears, exactly.
It's like, yo, I
Get
need
whatever
2
you
chocolate
need,
milks, not one.
for real.
exactly.
Hey man, you figured out you had a product and somebody's gonna want it.
Yeah,
You
bartering.
nothing wrong with that.
Supply, demand.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to do the same. Well, I wasn't doing it for favors. I was doing it for money. Because no, like I was charging about $5 for mine, and like maybe if we get um off recording, I'll show you some of my pitiful
The
drawings.
hell?
Um, no, because I feel like he go be like, oh, it's so nice. Kind of like how moms do with like, they child draw something, but the kid is a kid, so they can't really like draw well.
Right.
But you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you
But
like,
yeah,
it's so nice.
that giraffe
Right.
got wings, a rhinoceros horn. All right.
It's not a giraffe. It's a T-Rex.
Of course.
Oh, right, right.
But
I got
no,
a
that's
question for you. Since we do discuss a lot going on within the Black entertainment and the blurred sphere, what are some things that you look forward to creating and or building on to create entertainment or to create these stories for Black folks and those who love what you do?
I ultimately I want to create a TV show um, similar to. So right now I'm trying to figure out if I want it to be geared towards young adults or children or adults or somewhere in between. Because I feel like the problem that we have now is we're trying to cast too wide a net when we come out with entertainment. So like there's some shows that come out where we don't know who the audience is for. So they're trying to talk to children, they're trying to talk to adults at the same time. So it's like the adults like eh, they'll watch it, but the kids are like they'll watch it. So it's like who is it really for? So that's what I'm trying to figure out what the audience should be. But I want to create um, a an animated feature or an animated series in the 90s, early 2000s, dealing with that and also dealing with I'm Haitian and my parents were born and raised in Haiti. I've never been, but I was born here. So I was a first generation Haitian born here. So I wanted to kind of catalog the differences between, looking black and being black and like, okay, I'm Haitian. Do I consider myself black? Some black folks are like, nah, you're not black, you're Haitian. And some Haitians are like, yeah, we're black. And like finding that kind of place within society and like not having the same black culture, but being able to relate to the same black culture and trying to figure out. So that's what I wanted to create a show kind of cataloging. But my biggest concern is figuring out who the audience is. So like, do I include like cursing and sexual content and things like that and who the audience is and like I don't want to dumb it down too much so that kids because like think about it as like an 8-year-old who's born in like 2017 or 2016, am I going to be interested in the show about the 90s?
Right.
Probably not. But if I'm,
it depends on how you do it.
Yeah,
yes,
it definitely depends on how it's presented.
yes. So
Because you
if
could pull them in.
it like, and it's also things are evolving so fast. What are kids watching? Like I was just hanging out with um, my boy and his son, and he was telling me how his son does not watch 2D content. Everything is
Mhm.
3D CGI.
Oh,
And it's
snap.
That's sad.
yeah,
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
what?
Wow.
Yeah, and like we're asking, oh, okay, what's your favorite Disney movie? He was like Transformers. Like, no, it's not a Disney.
No.
And then he's like, Godzilla. And I was like, no, that's also not a Disney movie. And then he's like, Moana? He's like, yes, that's a Disney movie. And then he was like, Kanto. And then just like, okay, the CGI ones. I was like, what about Aladdin? He's like, meh. Lion King, meh. Hercules, meh. So it's like, hey, you gotta get with the times. So yeah,
He sounds like a Pixar fan,
Yeah.
more of a Pixar fan than
exactly.
Disney.
It sounds like he's just into the visual effect.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like
Oh.
Transformers. I was like, Transformers, Disney, that would be scary and sad.
Well, wait, hold on, Corey, because Transformers just came out with another movie, and it was for kids. It was very like
No, it
they
wasn't
made
because I
them
saw
chibi
it.
like.
It
It
was
wasn't for
it was
kids.
aimed towards kids.
They
It
tried
was
to market
definitely
it.
marketed
They
to
tried
kids.
they tried to market it just towards kids, and that's why it didn't do well in theaters.
Mm.
I mean,
But
a
do you
lot of
think
people who are the fans who actually pay
Because I
money.
watched it and I really enjoyed the movie, and I was like, if I went off the marketing, I would have never watched this movie.
Right, like
Yeah, and what's crazy is my professor actually marketed that movie. That was one of the movies that they had to market. Now, here's the thing: a lot of people want to blame marketing for it, but they don't have control of everything.
They
Just like
market what they're told.
or what they're given, because they can only they only see about 3/4 of the movie, right? Now,
Mhm.
if they decide for the theatrical release they want to take a scene out and it's used in the trailer, like the Ghostbusters, that was another movie that Spellman had did and whatnot and marketed for Sony and whatnot. He does a lot of like releases, including the Deadpool Wolverine release as well. But if they use a scene that's deleted out of the movie or whatever, you'll have a lot of moviegoers upset because they're like, well, where was this scene? When did
yeah,
this happen? And
pretty
it
much.
didn't happen, especially for like Ghostbusters. And even like I don't know about Transformers because I haven't seen it, but to me it did it I got the impression that it was a kids movie. It was for the kids. It wasn't
Yeah,
really for, OG fans. If you are an OG fan, of course you may go see it, but outside of that, I know I didn't see anything that said that it wasn't for kids. You know what I mean? Because everything about it just said kid to me.
yeah.
Right.
I feel like their second week numbers were way better than their first week because of like recommendation. Like people who seen it like,
Mhm.
yo, like every sentence with Transformers has actually in it. Like, yo, Transformers
Yeah.
1 was actually pretty good. Like I
Yep.
really, because no one really believed that it was gonna be, because I saw the trailer, I was like, all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah, but
Which is
literally everyone who's seen it is just like, yeah, it's actually like it's pretty good.
Mm, and that's awesome. So, what is your
Right.
favorite anime? Do you watch anime?
I don't watch as much anime as I should, but I would say I do like Demon Slayer a lot. I started what did I start? I started JJK. Um, Here's the thing with anime. A lot of the time, anime feels like I'm doing homework when I'm watching it.
Is it because you're watching sub instead of
No,
dub?
it's because I'm watching too intently. Like I'm watching the water droplets. Like, okay, that's how they draw water. Like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh, you're
oh, that's
studying
how
it
they.
because you can't just watch it to entertain yourself. You are
Mm.
breaking it down. Yeah, this is the same for me when I see CG, a lot of CG because I do 3D art.
Mhm.
So looking at a movie, I can't watch it to be entertained much anymore because there are
Anything
certain things
recording.
that may come up and I'll see it and I'll be like, "Ooh, okay, I see how they did that."
Yeah,
Or like I wonder how they did that. Or I'll be like, "Oh god, this because I just watched Uprising on Netflix yesterday." And like when they were bringing down, the manor and it was all in flames and everything was coming down, I was like, yo, that looks so bad. Like I could tell it was bad, but anybody else who's watching the movie who don't know what I know
Yeah,
wouldn't have, like, they not paying attention. It's just like when they did the Starbucks cup in GOT.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody paid attention until somebody saw it and it was like, yo, y'all really let this go past production? Like
Mhm.
in post? Crazy.
Mhm.
So basically, you watch anime or animated shows from an artist's eye.
Yes, yes. So
Can't turn it off.
it's really tough for me to watch animated shows. I'm not gonna lie. Even though like I want I so Arcane, of course,
Ah,
phenomenal,
so good.
That was really good.
10 out of 10. So I'm ready for that, but then I have to like that's one of the shows where I have to watch it twice. I have to watch it once for the show and I have to watch it another to like appreciate like all the art that's coming out of it. But I do watch a lot of live action stuff as a form of entertainment and turning my brain off, but also blocking things in live action will help with blocking things in animation as well. So like a lot of people
Mhm.
study animation to do animation, but live action studying is very important because that's what animation is referencing, and you use the animation medium to transcend live action, do things that you can't do. So
Mhm.
Yeah, that's dope.
So if you watch an animation at such a technical standpoint, what is one of your favorite animated movies based off technique alone?
Prince of Egypt.
The live
Okay.
action
Mm,
just came
No,
out.
no.
mm,
The
The
animated one,
90s.
yeah. Prince of Egypt is one of the most beautiful movies, like animation, everything, effects,
The
like
soundtrack, like,
sound.
oh god, yes.
Hmm.
Like, just, oh man. Yeah, yeah. That brings me back to a good time when we had Whitney Houston, good time. Anyway,
So
um,
so so have you seen Transformers One?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
really?
No, I have not seen it yet. I have not seen it yet. But
Oh, you
like,
talking about the new one? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
new yeah.
Like
yeah,
I thought he talked about the old one. I'm like, really? You ain't never
no,
seen the
the
old
old
one?
ones,
but I'd say I think Prince of Egypt was like the first or second project from DreamWorks Pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just read a book called Disney War, and it was talking about like the competition and like
Oh yeah.
Katzenberg used to work at Disney, and he's in charge of like some of the best Disney movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to get
Do you
that book.
have this?
I've read it, but I have to buy it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had to buy this
you're right.
for college when I was in college.
Yeah.
And like this was so cool because like it has like all of like their principles, what they used to do when they were animating, like and for those of you who couldn't see what the title was, it's The Illusion of Life Disney Animation, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston.
Mhm.
They are and have been, like, they were probably the original animators at Disney. And
Mhm.
yeah, I bought this. This is a very expensive book, apparently. I
Yeah.
mean, I,
Yes.
I paid ridiculous amounts of money for this, and I was very upset that I barely ever used it.
Mhm.
But I
Mm,
still have it as a reference for those who are interested. And also, I have the Animator Survival Kit as well, which is
Mhm.
another really, really good animation book and whatnot. But this is what happens when you drop out of college and you keep your books. Uh, that, which is why we're here now, back in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Um, so fun stuff.
If
What would you say? Okay, outside of the Prince of Egypt, what is the most recent animation film, full feature film that you've seen where the techniques were like spot on, like chef's kiss, and you felt proud as an artist to watch?
I want to say um, I mean, Spider-Verse came out. That was like that wasn't the most recent, but they've been taking those
It
same
counts.
and
Yep.
building onto it. So I would say Wild Robot. I just saw that. That looks amazing.
I
The
want to
character-
see that.
Wild Robot is really, really good. Really,
It
really.
gives Wall-E energy.
Yes, it
Really?
does. I would say it's
I
a
loved
mixture of
Wally.
Wally and Iron Giant.
Ooh, okay. Jesus, you talking
Mm.
about crying, tears, and things? Because that's what that sounds like to me. I'm sorry. I
Exactly.
heard Iron. I've never seen the Iron Giant, mind you, but
What?
I've known grown. Don't
Yo,
judge me.
Yes, wait,
Like
please.
the collective gas is crazy.
this is the second time in 2 weeks you haven't seen something and it's caused me to gasp.
Now do yourself
Like
a favor. Do yourself a favor.
it was the collective gas just now, though. Like, but I've heard grown men watch that movie and cry, like bawl. And I was like, no, I don't want to cry. I'm sorry. Like when I'm like, I hate crying when I'm watching movies because I'm a big baby. I'm gonna cry, especially if it's really sad or like the story, the character development has gotten to that point where you just feeling it. Like even with Black Panther, I couldn't hold it together. Like I was emotionally constipated anyway. But that I was just bawling in the theater. So that's why I haven't seen Iron Giant. I've seen bits and pieces of the movie, but I've never actually sat down and was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this ever.
Well, that's the
Sorry.
mission.
I'm
You
sorry.
come
I'm
back to Philly.
sorry. It's the silent judgment for me.
You heard me, Corey?
Yes.
That's the mission. You come back home to Philly. You gotta watch Iron Giant.
She gotta
Yeah,
watch
because I've
that. She
been
gotta watch Be Cool.
yeah, I've never seen Be
Cool.
Cool.
Yo, who? Wait. Time out.
Oh god.
I'm not gonna come down on you for watching Be Cool, but that's one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. I don't know why.
because
I heard it's really good, but I
it's
don't
one of
know.
those it's one of those movies that is fully self-aware
Yeah.
about how stupid it is, but you're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I love it so
every
much.
time it's about to get absurd, the movie itself is like, wait a minute,
We're too
just
far.
one
Too
second.
far. Bring it back. Brilliant.
And it has a dynamite cast.
Andre
Hmm.
3000 is so funny in that
Andre
movie.
3000, John
Oh,
Really?
Travolta,
I know
Yeah.
John
Uma
Travolta was in the
Thurman.
movie, but that was the only thing that I
Be
remember
Cool
from that
is
time.
such
Keep
a
in
good
mind,
movie.
Be Cool came out in like 2005, 2006. Okay. Now, in 2005, 2006, I was in the sixth grade. My mama wasn't letting me watch R-rated movies in the sixth grade. It wasn't happening. Okay. So that's why I haven't seen it. Okay. Because it took me until my grown years to watch Higher Learning, to see Love Jones, to see all the pretty much the cult black classics that we have. Okay, I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies. All right, leave me alone. Okay, I
Good
finally
for
saw
you.
Jason's Lyric and a couple of others as well, and I was getting judged. Like people were trying to attempting to take my black card because of that, and I was just like,
It should definitely be in jeopardy.
Your black card has been under review.
not under review. That's crazy. Y'all are
But Marco,
weird.
I got one for you. I got a question for you. Now, what movie has been so bad from a technical standpoint you just kind of like
You had to turn it off or you couldn't finish it.
like maybe if I just turn off that side of my brain and just focus on the story.
But the story's bad too. I'm gonna say Madam Web, but
Oh,
that's just me.
God.
Does it have to be animated or a show? Well,
Either or.
I'll tell you a show that Tyler Perry joint.
No.
Which one?
That's too easy.
Which one? No, but which one?
That's too easy.
Beauty and
Like he
Black.
don't even have to give it a name or a
Oh,
title.
Beauty and Black. That just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, I started
bet-
watching it because I like to watch what people are watching because I like to see what people are saying. But I was like, yeah, I got to turn this off.
Yeah, Tyler Perry and bad technique are like peanut butter and jelly. that was too easy.
He made
Hey,
a strong,
Marco,
solid point.
Do you do the con circuit?
Yeah. By con circuit,
Do
well,
you vendor?
this year, so attending cons, I've done San Diego D23. I went to WonderCon, and I went to Lightbox Expo this year.
I'm jealous.
Nice.
I'm jealous of all four of those cons.
And
Uh,
LA Comic Con. So I've been to all those this year. As for tabling, last year I did LA Comic Con, and that was my only big convention. But next year I really want. Well, I should start planning now, but
yeah.
I can help with that.
like I want to
There's
do like Blurred Con, Dream Con, those things. I do want to get into that, but I haven't been to either of them, so I kind of want to go first. But at the same time, I don't think I need to have gone. I think I could just jump right in. But
just imagine, because we've been. Just imagine a convention where 97% of the population is black.
It's a
It's
fun
like-
time.
No ashiness.
Just know it's a key. It's a key.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like
some
home.
ashiness around, but like
No ashiness. Everyone smells good. It's
yeah,
remotely
you gotta
nice.
worry about. Yeah, especially that dude. So we went to which con was this? This was Otakon a couple years back. And there was a guy dressed in a hazmat suit with
That
a
was-
drum, a full
No.
drum of
That wasn't-
Febreze.
That wasn't Otakon. That was Anime NXT and Anime
That
Next in
Jersey.
Atlantic City.
Was it?
Yes, because I know that cosplayer,
Oh.
Secator O'Ruff. He's actually listens to our podcast on a regular.
Shout out to him.
Shout out.
Shout out to him.
Shout out.
What's
'Cause,
up,
like,
OG?
that was an
triple.
unforgettable moment. I'm so glad I had my cameras for that. Oh my god, that was gold.
That is really
So
funny.
yeah, you like. Have you ever dressed up at any of the cons? Like, have you ever cosplayed?
I not really cosplay, but I do like it's called like bounding, so it's like kind of cosplay, but not all the way. I did Genie at LA Comic Con in 2021 or 2, maybe 2022. Yeah, 2022. So I had like a blue hoodie, blue sweatpants, and I had like a carpet over my shoulder, like a red belt, and like the cuffs, and I walked around with a lamp and stuff. So yeah, I do want to get more into it, but I usually just like wear my clothing around when I'm like at cons and stuff.
Oh,
Listen, but say you've already had a few cosplayers dressed as your characters. We recently
Yeah,
had
how does
Cleo
that feel?
Thomas. Cleo Thomas just recently did Scar, and of course another friend to the show, Night Mage. He did Mufasa.
Yeah.
Not too long after you
I
first
remember
put it
that
out.
made me Mufasa.
you can't call yourself. You can't not call yourself a professional anymore, baby. Like, people are dressing up as the characters that you created. And granted, it is another company's IP. But at the end of the day, you perfected it. I feel like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For this generation, for this
You're
time.
doing something to it that they won't do
Mm-hmm. And
because
it's still wholesome.
I feel
It's
like
still wholesome.
I do feel
so
like
Pumbaa runs up on the ops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Pumbaa looks like he runs up on ops at least twice a week.
So I modeled Pumbaa after like imagine like a Dominican
That's exactly. Yeah!
from New York.
Yo, that's exactly what he looks like. Shout out to our Dominican brothers and sisters up in New York. I mean,
That's exactly what we see.
he
With
looked just like him up in the Bronx, yo.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I imagine.
Yes.
It be like that.
Yes. That's exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like. Yo.
I'm sorry, but in my head, I always see it. I was like Puma just looked like a big Dominican goon.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
So each character. So I've lived in New York. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in LA. So from my living experiences, I take like the culture from every place and insert it to each character that I'm drawing to make it as specific as possible so that when you see these characters, you see the Disney character or whatever I'm drawing, but you also see someone who exists in real life.
Yes.
So every character I want like O'Malley from the Aristocats. I want you to see like the dad or the stepdad from Baby Boy, like the boyfriend from Baby Boy.
Ving
Melvin,
Rhames. Ving Rhames.
Melvin.
I want
Yeah.
you to see, like when you look at Georgette from Oliver and Company. I want you to see, Hillary Banks. I want you to see like people who exist in real life. And
Iago looks exactly how he's supposed to look,
yes, exactly.
but he sounds like DJ Khaled.
No, that's who he
We
also
the best.
looks. I modeled him directly from DJ Khaled. Like if you can put them side by side and you know the difference. And think about like how like he's good hearted at heart, but he's really, really annoying. And
Like I'm just, I'm sorry. I just when you originally put them up and I looked at them, I had so many things going on in my head. I like Baloo looks like he used to be that bull, but then he found Jesus, but he can serve
uh,
For real.
like he just about the bare necessities, dog.
yeah, that's like I model Baloo after like basically like your uncle who always has something to say, but like you always take his advice with a grain of salt. But he's
Right.
always talking about like, yo, back when I was your age, like when I was on the football team, like, I things like I would, that guy, all the ladies.
Yep. He's still
Yeah,
reliving his glory days
reliving this
from the
like
80s.
Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite,
Oh my goodness,
like the good-hearted version.
Uncle Rico.
Like he's well
That-
meaning, but he gives terrible advice.
Yes.
If you could draw like a character from like Marvel or DC or any other comic book, who would you like take over if you could?
Ooh, good question. I would like. I think it would really be cool to um, realize a young Blade.
Ah,
I'm here for it. I'm
I don't think
super
we've
here
seen
for it.
that.
Yeah.
Like a young loner Blade. Like he's not the clumsy, goofy character that Miles Morales is, trying to make his way. Blade has his stuff together at a young age. He's the guy in class where like yo, that guy yeah,
He doesn't talk in class.
yeah,
I
he
would
does
absolutely I
yeah.
can absolutely see a scene where he's in class and he said to one of his classmates, "It's always a motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill." Like
Oh,
I see it.
I skate up there.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to realize.
Like
I got
a young
I
Night Stalker. I think that would be dope.
I have
Yeah.
one more question for you. So, even though, yes, beautiful things that you've done with Pride Lands and all of the other amazing characters you've created, um, when can we start to see some of your own IP coming out?
I
Yeah.
think it's it's coming soon because I feel like I've done what I've needed to do in the sense of like getting my name out there, building a following, growing people who like are attached to what I do, no matter what I'm taking from, because I feel like I've built that trust where people know that, like, if I'm doing something, I'm gonna put like my whole mind into it. That's why I like to. I refer to myself as a mastermind, because I don't like to do anything like half realized. I think too much about certain things. So like now that you've seen, okay, he's done this, he's done this, he's done this, like when he's putting out a project, oh, okay, like I'm already on board because he's showed up consistently for this amount of years. And like now I know that, I can't go wrong with what he's doing. So it's either I can do that, or I can do what you guys talked about. Like I do want to put my spin on an existing IP, and do it how I see in my world, because like, there's so many runs of Batman, there's so many runs of
Yeah.
Superman, these
Yes.
things. Let's take our characters that are not fully realized. And that's why I gravitated towards Disney, because there's such a large amount of characters. And when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch like things with like so much violence and stuff, right? So I was like thrown these Disney movies, and so I latched on to like the cool scenes where Beast is fighting Gaston and things like that, and like okay, and it was also geared towards like ladies and girls and stuff like that crowd. So I was watching these things along with my female cousins and stuff. And like I'm always like, yeah, the Beast, like Aladdin, all these things. And like imagine creating cool versions of these characters in more of like a mature way, similar to how Batman and Superman and all these comic book characters have the chance to grow with their audience. I'd love to do something like that as well. So yeah, like original characters. I don't post a lot of original stuff because a lot of the time people get too caught up in the likes and the comments and stuff. And also there's so many things in the world. People don't know your characters, so what's going to make them gravitate towards your characters not knowing anything about them? So I'm really like I do overthink that process of it. Like, okay, I need to make people care about this, but I need to have it perfect so that people can care about it before I put it out. So it's something that I'm really gearing towards and starting to put my energy towards, like my own stuff as well.
Well, I think you should definitely put your original characters up, because you already got a fan. You already
Yeah.
got
Right.
hundreds,
Super fan.
thousands of fans that's here for your stuff, no matter what you put out. Regardless of what you put out.
I'm about to say there's already artists out here that threw their own characters out to the wind and people ate them up.
Yeah.
So like look at the Vipsy Pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And even Creative Theory World, they're doing their own
that's
anime.
Creative Theory World,
Anime.
other friends of
Yeah.
the show.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like we need more of that representation. We need more of you guys, wanting to share your gifts with the world, because we do appreciate it. Y'all do so much. Like a lot of people don't realize the value of artists in entertainment and how deeply that does impact your everyday life and just your life in general, especially
Yeah.
growing up.
Mhm.
But if you do decide to make a young bleed, make sure you hit us up in our messages. I'll definitely subscribe to Patreon.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
would be really sick. Like, because I had a discussion not too long ago about Mahershala Ali's blade and how that's tanking.
Ooh.
It tanked.
I think that they should just go back to the drawing board and get like. Has any of you guys watched Top Boy?
Yeah.
I've
So
seen
Hey.
couple episodes.
right,
Couple episodes.
Hey, you seen something?
you know who I'm talking about?
That's a good point.
You know who I'm talking about? Like the brother,
Right? That's not a bad. I didn't even think about that.
like a 23-year-old Blade, as opposed to like a late 30s, early 30s. Like I think there could be
But
some.
I've always said that they should go for a younger Blade.
Hmm.
I've been actually very verbal on that,
Yeah,
and yeah, I just never stopped to think. Yeah,
yeah,
um,
You gotta fill
the
me in
guy who
later.
plays Jamie, right?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think his last name is Ward.
Hmm.
Mike Ward. I think his
Yeah.
name's Michael Ward. Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff.
I
Who
didn't
would
even
you
think of. Hmm.
who would you cast as a young Blade?
That guy, Michael Ward. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Originally, I was saying John Boyega, and that's because Boss Logic did that photo of John Boyega as a young Blade, and it kind of had me sold sense.
I think a lot of people were also saying Caleb McLaughlin. Um, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, but like he gets thrown into every black
I don't
role,
know.
every
Yeah,
every cast. Like he should be him. He should like. There's more guys, but he is a really good actor.
Idris Damsu or
It,
Damasu.
it, it just Damson. Yeah,
Yeah,
Damsu,
Idris.
yeah.
Yeah,
Damson. Yeah, he
yeah.
he is really good. Like oh man, I can't say I've ever really seen Snowfall, but there is one clip from him talking, and he's just like, oh man,
He's really
It's a thing
amazing.
like I built this by myself, brick
good.
by
Hmm.
No,
brick.
it was like if you it was like just keep your head down, keep your mouth shut. And he's like, and let me get us out of this, like I got us out of everything else. He was angry, but it was so good because somebody put it
that's
to
because
to Commander Shepard, because I
right.
also game, so like of course, and that definitely felt like a conversation between Shepard and the council, for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do you game?
I I game, but I wouldn't call myself a gamer. So I play like I don't game online at all, which I want to, but I feel like it's just so much.
Yeah.
Like I play the single player games. I play, Spider-Man 2, of course, Hogwarts Legacy, God of War, um, Last of Us 2, Red Dead Redemption. Those play by
Okay,
yourself.
so you like RPGs.
Yeah, I like RPGs.
Same as me and Nika. So
Yep.
Yeah.
You might like Cyberpunk. You might definitely like
Oh yeah,
Cyberpunk.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that
I just didn't
and
play it because they said it was so glitchy.
it is.
It
it
Was.
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 It
It
was.
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 Okay,
Was.
It
okay.
Not
I
was.
love
it's not
Kingdom
nearly as
Hearts,
much anymore.
obviously. Um, yeah, I like RPGs.
All right.
Yeah, pretty. And I still get on the N64 Super Smash. That's my
Oh,
go-to.
Wow.
you
Retro
Wow.
gamer.
play OG Smash.
Wow.
Phew.
There's very few who can see me with Donkey Kong. Very, very few.
Especially if you playing on an
Especially with
N64.
64. Damn, I
Because
gotta
nobody
I got
know
one of
that
those
goddamn
here.
controller no more.
I got one of
Yeah,
those here.
I
I
have to
play.
slow down my processing power. Damn.
I have a Wii, and I downloaded it on the Wii, and I use a GameCube controller.
Hey,
So like,
whatever works.
Using
whenever,
a Q controller is ancient technology. Don't nobody alive even know how to use it anymore.
Yo,
Yeah, it's crazy, yo.
you say that, yet they always made sure that the next two systems that came out, you could plug in a GameCube controller.
Really?
Yeah, they,
Yeah, it's got it in the back. The control
yeah.
the control inputs are in the back.
hmm
Because I
Wow.
had a Wii.
Nintendo,
Yeah. The
Nintendo know
first
who they talking to.
yeah,
Yeah. The
They're
one thing I
talking to
do
Marco.
rock with when it comes to
They're
Nintendo is
talking.
that they will make sure things are backwards compatible.
Like I was about to say, you can't play Smash Brothers with the wand. Hook it up, old buddy.
Oh
Still
yeah,
reliable.
that's true.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, but I do really, I really, I like. So I do like Fortnite, but I'm like trash.
That's okay.
Same.
It's okay.
Same.
Most
Same.
people are. I'm pretty good though.
I would say Corey and Nico can play, but I'm trash right
Like,
along with you. Bro. I'm
I
trash.
cannot like
but I
rock.
think you might like for the first Descendant a little more. It is a looter shooter,
Okay.
but it is a lot of fun. And then on top of that, you don't like you can play like with randos or whatever if you want, or you can play private if you want. However, you don't have to talk to the randos because I
Yeah.
know when you do Fortnite and you're a part of like a party, you have
Mhm.
to listen to them and hear them. You ain't
Yeah.
gotta do all that with the first Descendant, and the first Descendant is also free to play. So there's that.
And like also the building mechanism, I could never wrap my head around that.
Oh, they
they
have a
have a
no
version
build
called
mode.
Zero Build.
Yeah, so
Oh
you
yeah,
don't, so you just get to shoot in the
Trust
face.
me,
okay,
I ain't
If you
building
check my
shit.
YouTube channel, I have quite a few.
I don't build shit.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I ain't got time either. I just don't.
All right.
But this has
That's our
been
time.
a wonderful, wonderful conversation with you. Um, I'd like to thank my co-hosts and everyone for taking the time out of their busy day, especially you, Marco, to have this conversation. So thank you so much, and thank you again for sharing your gifts with the world. We do appreciate you.
Let everybody know how they can find you. Not like people already know. Let them know again.
You could find me at Masterminds Connect. If that's not my name, if you just type that in, you'll find me anywhere. Or Marco the Artist.
There you go. Thank you, Marco. We'll make sure we'll put all his links below, including his Patreon. To go over there.
Yep. Be
I
sure to
probably
subscribe.
myself.
More
Thank
importantly, more
Even if you
importantly,
subscribe for $1 for 1 month just to look through everything, that's cool with me. Like just let me know. I love feedback. I take people's suggestions all the time. So yeah.
more importantly, we want to thank you guys out there for listening in. And for you folks out there on YouTube, we hope you are subscribed because you definitely need to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so you can get updated on anything and everything here at Amerime Media. Also,
Uh,
of course, we're going to have the link to AmerimeMedia.com on this video because you always need to check out what's going on at AmerimeMedia.com. We've got a few things coming up, including a book, but we'll talk more on that another day.
let them know what y'all got going on. Then we out.
Oh, well, y'all already know I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays is the creative work for the creative gene. So you get to see my 3D work and see me work on different things, staging 3D objects and creating 3D objects, and sometimes animations as well. On Fridays, we do our gaming stuff. Currently, we are finishing up the DLC for Cyberpunk and also finishing the game itself, the main story mission. So stay tuned. That's Wednesdays and Fridays. The Creative Gene in easy mode. Check it
uh,
out.
I currently stream whenever I feel like it, so there's that.
Yeah, he
But
does have a
mainly,
schedule.
I'm actually online being a busy bee, writing and speaking for us across most social media, which would be Amerime Media. That's AmeriMedia.
Raising hell with that last post you made.
I've raised nothing, sir, but I'm also writing quite a few articles. There should be some new ones coming up soon. One talking about a big piece of nostalgia, Tales from the Crypt, and another one highlighting the big differences between the movie Free Guy and Ready Player One.
Nice. Can't wait to read those. What about you, Marco? Are you working on anything? Anything for the holidays?
So I just finished my Disney X Street Fighter series.
Yes,
Um,
Hey.
fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. So I'll be participating in a couple of art shows this month, selling these shirts and also creating a zine. Figuring out how that looks. I
I
might
hope
add
the
a couple more characters to that, and yeah,
I hope
um,
the Mugen community sees those and they want to run with it.
yes, I've gotten a lot of comments about that. Like,
Because making them into fighting characters, you could go so many different ways. And I love Mugen. Like it's just such a absurd corner of the internet with really fun fights.
yeah, exactly.
All right, y'all, and I am Comic Boss. That's our time. Thank you everybody for coming and showing up, and we love you, motherfuckers.
Here we
We'll
go.
see you guys next time. Be well.
Queen Nick out.